Like now?
Oh, look at their little butts. Hi, I'm Clara. I'm an acupuncture student and a knitter, lover of all things healing needles, and I live in Richmond, Virginia. I just started knitting in February of this year, so I wanted to go ahead and document my process and my journey here, so I hope you enjoy following along. Today, I've got a knitting podcast with a pretty standard structure. We've got finished objects, whips, acquisitions, and then at the end, I like to do my meditations and musings, which is where I just kind of talk about things that I've been meditating on, thoughts that have been bouncing around my little noggin. So, yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so the first finished object I have for you today is the secret project I have been working on for months and months for my partner. It was their birthday surprise, and it was their birthday yesterday, so I can finally actually share this, which is so exciting because this project really took over my life for like 3 months straight. But yeah, I finally gave it to them yesterday, and they did love it. It is this tapestry of Fate Women by Amouage. That's their favorite perfume, and I will put photos and clips of the tapestry as well as the perfume and its packaging, so you can kind of see like where my design inspiration was coming from and everything. My partner is a perfume encyclopedia. Like, it's crazy. We have hundreds of perfumes from samples to full bottles. They used to write perfume reviews like every week for a long time. And so, yeah, the fact that Fate Woman is one of their top perfumes really says a lot, because the number of perfumes we have to choose from and the number that they have smelled throughout their lifetime to get to this point to name this one their favorite is really says a lot about the perfume itself and their love for it. So it unfortunately got discontinued this past year, or I think last year, and so I really wanted to commemorate the perfume for them. And also the packaging is just really, really cool, as I'm sure you can see. And so it was a great source of inspiration. I did also film an entire project vlog about like the conception of this idea to like figuring out how I was gonna make it, and then the making of, all of my struggles. All my struggles and regrets and everything in between and everything I learned is all in there. So whenever I get that edited and uploaded, you can kind of see like all of the behind the scenes of making this. This was honestly such a crazy undertaking, and I did it to myself, so I can't really complain, but I think this was like the fourth thing that I ever casted on. And so that was crazy. It was my first time doing color work, and I was like making my own chart and everything, and it was just absolutely massive. Like, this thing is about 2 by 3 feet. It was knit on 3mm needles. I cast on 161 stitches, and it was 278 rows. So it was just a beast. It was a beast of a project. It was really crazy. Like, I literally had to have a regimen of like, I'm gonna do 4 rows per day for this many days so that I can get this done in time. And I am really, really glad I did that. You can see that in the project vlog too, like where I was like kind of panicking that I wasn't gonna get it done in time. And so I had to come up with like a schedule for myself. And now I know that I think knitting on a schedule is like really not excellent. So really gives me a lot of context for like later down the line when I make like gift knits for people. Like, I thought I was starting pretty early with this, and I don't think it was early enough. So next time I will start even earlier. But yeah, as I said, I learned a lot obviously from making this project. I definitely really enjoy doing color work. That was so fun, but also after doing this, I am taking a bit of a break from color work. Yeah, for the foreseeable future, I am going to be doing solid colors. Maybe like stripes is like the only thing I might dip my toe into as far as doing multiple colors for a little while. But yeah, I mean, I am so beyond pleased with how this came out. I just think everything looks so crisp and neat, and it's just so like legible. Like the graphic really holds. Like you or immediately know like what it is, which I feel like is always kind of unpredictable when you are doing color work and like making your own chart. Like you kind of don't know how it's going to turn out and how well it's going to like translate. But yeah, I really love how it turned out. And I'm really happy that my partner likes it. I spritzed it with the perfume before packaging it up, so that was a nice little touch if I don't say so myself. But yeah, I'm really excited to finally actually like be able to have this displayed. Like I finished it. Finishing a behemoth of a project like that, especially a project that's like meant to be displayed on a wall, and then not being able to do anything with it for like 3 weeks was annoying. Like I do not have the patience for that. So I'm really glad that we have gotten here now. We have finally gotten to the day, and it is finally up on the wall as it should be. So yeah, there's that. Okay, second finished object is actually a little sewing project. It's very small, but I'm proud of it, so I thought I would share. So I got a Kobo e-reader from my mom for my birthday. So cute, so cute. This has been great. Okay, like I was not really on the e-reader train until obviously very recently. I do love the feeling of like paper and like turning the page and everything like that. But well, like first of all, a lot of the acupuncture books and stuff, you can get them as PDFs. And that's great, but like reading on a computer screen is really awful. But also my partner like has a Kindle, and so I was like maybe I can put it on there, but there's like not really a good way to read a PDF or even put a PDF on a Kindle. And so I was doing my research, and it was basically between like Kobo and Books, Boox, and I chose the Kobo Libra color. Especially I liked the color option because then you can highlight in different colors and like annotate. And I really wanted to be able to do that so that I could go back to like my notes and stuff, and like mark up the book as I read, especially when it comes to like textbook and nonfiction and stuff like that. So I've been really enjoying this, especially also because like I mean, I've always just had like jacked shoulders, you know, like jacked as in like not good. I don't mean jacked like jacked. I mean like jacked like it's messed up. It's been messed up for like decades. From like I don't know, 15 years of playing violin plus having like horrendous posture when I was younger. And so my like left trap was so knotted at some point that it was raised about like an inch higher. And so I was like lopsided for a long time. So anyways, my shoulders and like whole upper back has just like not been great. My arms are like awful. So anyways, it's just really hard for me to like find a comfortable reading position when I have a physical book because of the actual weight of the book and like having to hold it open, which I feel like makes me sound really lame and weak, but like I am lame and I am weak. And so it was just really hard for me to like actually find a nice position to read for a longer period of time, which I realized actually really got in the way of my ability to read books, which sucks because I do enjoy doing that. So yeah, I just felt like it was the time to get an e-reader where I could not only like read some of my acupuncture textbooks on there, but also just like regular fiction books. Like I was doing a lot of reading like before bed, which I've found is so helpful for my sleep, just because like even when I'm knitting before bed, I'm usually like watching a YouTube video in the background or listening to a podcast or something like that, but just something that's like actually still on my phone. And I just felt like that wasn't cutting it. So now that I've been reading before bed, I sleep so much better. But I was like in bed with a physical book trying to keep it open, and I'm laying there like, I don't know. I just can't find I can't be comfy and read a physical book at the same time, which like, I don't know. It's probably just a me problem. Honestly, it's probably just a me problem. But with this tiny little guy, you can just, you can just be like sideways and read it, and just like, you don't have all these like pages in the way. I don't know. It's just so much easier. It's just so much easier, and I love it. I love it. I love having my little Kobo. It's the best. Anyways, so I got a Kobo. Okay, I got a Kobo. Sorry. It was a whole like long tangent. But I had also read that the Kobo like screen is a little bit fragile, and so not only do I have a screen protector, but people were also recommending having some sort of like hard case cover for it for like when you're taking it on the go. And I have like, oh my god, when I go to work, I've got this, I've got my laptop, I got my knitting, I've got like 2 meals, I've got one of these guys for tea, and then I have another water bottle for my normal water, because I don't know, crazy. But like, I just have so much stuff that I am carrying with me at all times, and then like I just feel like everything just gets squished in my bags, and I'm like carrying them around. Anyways, I really wanted to make sure that my Kobo was protected, and so I made a little cover. So anyways, this is not like a pattern or anything. I just kind of laid my Kobo like over the fabric and cut from there and just winged the whole thing, but I think it came out super, super cute. This is kimono fabric, actually, from a kimono that my friend Jace had given to me before he sadly moved to Australia. I mean, sad for me because I miss him, but like I'm really happy for him because he was like, America was not safe for him anymore, so he left. And I'm really happy for him that he made it to Australia all safe and sound. But yeah, he had these kimonos and he was just like, I can't take them with me. Do you think you can make something cool with them? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm honored. Like, I will try. So yeah, I just thought that this would be like such the perfect fabric for this cover, because I have really been trying to figure out what to do with this fabric, just because like it's so beautiful, but I don't really think it looks like the best on me. And then there's another kimono that's like a different shade of orange, and I just don't think they're the most flattering colors on me, and I didn't really have that much inspiration as far as like what to do with them. But then when I wanted to make a Kobo cover, I was like, oh, perfect, I can use this. So yeah, it was great to use the fabric. However, the fabric is just so like, it's just so delicate and like thin. It was just so hard to cut. It was so hard to cut in like a straight line. It was so hard to sew in a straight line. So it was a bit of a struggle, honestly, to make this. And I feel like my sewing is a little bit more like sloppy than it usually is, to be honest. So yeah, this project really made me doubt my like ability to sew in a straight line, but I think it's just the fabric and it's not me. But anyways, I put 2 pieces of cardboard in here just to make it nice and sturdy. And then I also just like very lazy sewed a little elastic thing here for the pen. And yeah, it's been working so nicely. And I also like that it's a bright color just because I can always find it. I am always losing my things. Orange is not a very existent color in my life pretty much at all, and so this is like the only orange thing that I got, and so it's really easy to spot it and find it wherever it is. So yeah, I love this little guy. That's so funny too, because like, fun fact, a little bit of lore, when I was in middle school I wore orange every day for like 2 years. It was like my thing, and it was like fluorescent highlighter orange, because like middle school in that day was very, very fluorescent, highlighter neon colors everywhere. But yeah, that was like my signature thing. And now I look back and I'm just like, okay, girl. Like I had bright orange braces. It was really a look. It was really a look. Really glad we made it out here to the other side. But anyways, my first whip is this cardigan number 9. I have made honestly quite a bit of progress on this since last time. Here, let me try to put it on for you so you can see. Okay, so yeah, this is what it's looking like. I think just a few centimeters away from starting the ribbing on the bottom. So yeah, I am loving how this is turning out. This is on 5mm needles. I am knitting a size medium. I think for my body measurements, the pattern would probably suggest for me to make a size small, but I really tend to like a lot of my clothes oversized, but especially my outerwear, and so I decided to go with a size medium for this one. And yeah, I think once I'm done with the ribbing on the bottom, I think I'm gonna do the collar. Like I was kind of thinking about doing the sleeves because I was like, I'm a little intimidated by doing like the collar and the button band because I've never done that before. But I think I should get that done first before doing the sleeves so I don't just end up like putting it off forever. So yeah, I am a little intimidated by that. But honestly, I mean, I've been intimidated by like every step of this process just because like everything is new to me, obviously. Like this is the first thing I've even done with sleeves. I have been intimidated at lots of points in this process of making this, but every time like it comes out great and I'm like I feel so much better that I like learned something new, but I think it's just very daunting sometimes. So yeah, I think I just gotta like bite the bullet, and once I'm done with the ribbing, just go in for the collar and button band, and then I can like relax and do the sleeves at the end. But yeah, I'm loving how this is turning out. I love the color on me. I think it's like super, super flattering. I did have like some confusion about the short rows, honestly. Like, okay, so the issue is I did the saddle shoulders a while ago, and then I just stopped working on this because I had to like grind on my partner's tapestry project. So I did that for like a few weeks. And then when I finally came back to this, I was like at the short rows. But here's the thing. This is a user error for sure, because in the pattern, if you read through like the whole first part where it gives you like a rundown of how the pattern is going to go, it tells you like anytime you get 2 short rows, just use your short row of choice. But it was my first time doing short rows, and also I hadn't looked at the pattern in like 3 weeks. And so when I came back to the pattern, it was just like short rows, and I was like, great. And so it's like, you know, knit this many until like past the marker, turn, knit this many until past the marker, turn. And I thought that was just like telling me how to do short rows. Like I forgot the part where she was like, just choose your favorite kind of short row. So I was just literally knitting and then turning and knitting and then turning, and I was like, this does not look good at all. Like, what is happening? So then finally I like went back and I had to frog back a little bit, and then I ended up, you know, looking up the video for the German short rows, and it ended up being fine. And then the same thing happened with the like sides of the body. So, and this I feel, I don't know if patterns are just written like this or if I'm like new and I just like don't get it or like whatever. Like I don't know if this is like too much hand holding for a pattern to do this, but like, okay, you like pick up stitches for, you know, the side body, and then it just goes straight in, and it's like knit this many, turn, knit this many, turn. And I like sat there looking at the pattern for a minute being like, okay, but does that mean like I'm doing short rows now or what? Or like, am I actually just like turning at these points? Like, would it make any sense to turn? I don't know, because I've never done this before. Turns out yes, you are definitely supposed to do short rows, and I think just like anytime it's written out like that, it kind of just is supposed to signal to your brain like we are doing short rows now. But I think I don't know if it's like too much to ask for a pattern to just be like, "Hi, we're doing short rows now." You know? Like the first time I did short rows on the back, that's how it was. It was like short rows, and then it was like knit this many turn, knit this many turn. But for the front body, it was literally just like pick up the stitches, now knit this many turn, knit this many turn. And I was like, wait, wait, but like, are they short rows or not? Like, I don't know. So that was a little bit of a learning curve. Um, but yeah, other than that, I feel like the pattern has been really clear. I think it was just more of a user error, but I was definitely very, very confused for a little bit there. But anyways, I do love again how this is turning out. Oh, okay, this is kind of getting into my acquisitions a little bit, but I got the Drops Pro Spark interchangeable circular needles. It's just Drops metal needles, and they're like $35 or something. It was crazy. I just wanted to try them out, and honestly, I've been really, really enjoying these. I cannot believe these are like $35. It's kind of crazy. Definitely recommend, but I have been using those for this because if you remember, like in my last knitting podcast, I was talking about how I was having issues with the yarn kind of like splitting itself, or not even splitting itself, just the needles like going through the yarn or splitting because I'm holding it double. It would like go in between. And I would just have to look super closely at my knitting the entire time just to make sure like nothing was getting messed up. And it was kind of annoying, especially because it's like 98% stockinette, you know? And so this was really meant to be my more like chill project that I didn't really have to look at. And I really couldn't do that with the Knit Picks Radiant needles. But ever since switching to the Drops ones, I have not really had that problem like at all. So that's made it such a more enjoyable experience. I actually figured out, listen, now that I have the Kobo and I don't have to hold any pages open, I can actually read and knit at the same time. It's so cool. It's so fun. But anyways, yeah, I haven't had that problem, and I think it's just because like they are just a little bit less pointy and sharp than the Radiant ones. Like the Radiant needles are quite sharp, which I really like about them. They're so like precise. And I was always just like, why would you want dull needles? That sounds awful. Like, huh? But now I kind of get it because it's not splitting your yarn as much. So anyways, yeah, that's been helping a lot with my progress with this guy. Like I feel like I've made so much more progress once I switched to the metal needles, just because I'm not having to like stare so closely and always worry and like check back and make sure all of my stitches are okay. So yeah, I knit this at the beach, in the car, watching TV. It's been great. Okay, this is another like whip acquisition combo. So this is the Fibre Company Luma in the color Aizome, and it is a DK weight, 50% wool, 25% cotton, 15% linen, 10% silk. Such an interesting fiber blend, and I mean, look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. So story behind this is we went to Emerald Isle, North Carolina for my birthday trip, and it was super, super beautiful. Me and my partner went, and so they're a poet, so they were writing like a little poetry collection for me for my birthday, and so they had asked like, oh, do you have any special yarns that I can use for the project? And I was like, I mean, yeah, but like, wouldn't it be really cute if there was a yarn shop at Emerald Isle, and then we could like get some souvenir yarn while we're there, and then you can also use it for my birthday project. And so that's what we did. Thankfully, there's a yarn shop there. It's called the Salty Sheep. It is so cute. The ladies were so nice there, and they were super, super helpful. So yeah, we got this yarn. They used it to bind the little poetry collection, and so I don't know, this yarn just has so much like sentimental value to me now. And I'm really, really hyped for this fiber blend. Like, as I said, I'm in Virginia, and then we were in North Carolina buying this yarn, and I was talking to a lady there, and I was like, how do you find this yarn in like the summer, spring, summer? And she was like, oh yeah, like I wear it all the time in the spring, summer. Like I love making like a summer top with it. And I was like, okay, perfect. Because I just like, I love wool, and I feel like the feeling of knitting with wool is just really nice. And so I like having that like blend of like half wool, half plant based. They're just kind of hard to find. Like they're relatively, I feel like in the yarn world, they are more on the rare side. And so I was really, really happy to find this yarn, and like the blend is just so interesting. And also, I was like, okay, like I really trust her judgment as far as like temperature regulation, because it is humid out here. Y'all, it's humid and it's hot, okay? It's the South. And I just feel like a lot of people in the yarn, like knitting community, are like, yeah, I wear 100% wool like all year round and I love it in the summer. And I'm like, okay, well, like you're in Canada, or like you are in Denmark or like Switzerland, and like I'm in the south of the United States, and so it's very different. And so hearing from her that she wears it in the summer, I was like, okay, lady. Okay, I got you. I got you. Also, this color is just, I mean, look at it. It is like the perfect stormy, like grayish, bluish. I just love it. Pretty much ever since I have started knitting, I'm like, I've been on the hunt for like a nice blend of like wool and plant-based that is in this stormy color, but I just feel like it's such a hard color to photograph, and so I'm never really sure if it's gonna look the way I want it to look when I get it in the mail, when I'm like shopping online. And I haven't found it in person until now. And so it was just like the perfect combination of things to happen for me to get this yarn. And then, so, okay, so the first day, the first day we went, and I got 3 skeins, and I was like, okay, I think this maybe will be enough, like if I do like a cropped tee or something like that. And then I went back and I was like looking on Ravelry, and I was like, okay, I might need one more skein. But you know, like if I get home and I lose yarn chicken, I can just like order another one. No, you can't. They are being discontinued. The entire Fibre company is like shutting down apparently, which is what the heck? Okay. So I'm like, I just found the fiber blend of my dreams. I just found the color of my dreams. This is just the yarn of my dreams. And now it's being discontinued. So it's very sad. And also I was like, oh my God, we have to go back and get another skein, or else I'm never going to be able to get one. And then I'm just going to have this like project that doesn't have enough yarn. So we went back the next day and got one more skein. So I got 4 total. So I will have enough to make my t-shirt, which is going to be the mini tee. So I have it started here. I am making this on 3.5mm needles to hit gauge. And then I am making a size small. It is a deceptively simple raglan tee. Like I thought it was gonna be pretty chill. Like I was gonna cast this on like at the beach. But then I opened it and there were like 16 pages of instructions, and I was like, whoa, which is super, super cool. So first off, it starts with like the collar, and then you do Japanese short rows, which are really cool. I really enjoyed the process. The only thing is that, dude, oh my God. So I was literally on I was resolving my last short row. Oh my God. I cut my yarn like too early because I messed up reading the pattern. And so I actually had like maybe 10 more stitches to go before cutting my yarn, but then I didn't have enough to get there. And so then I was like, oh no, like what do I do? And so I frogged back a little bit so that I could like splice in some new yarn, and I wanted to have the splice happen like more so in the back so that it didn't have like extra bulk and whatever. So yeah, I frogged back, and then when I went to knit it again, I don't know what happened. Like I messed up. I messed up somehow, and I couldn't get the short row like back to how it was supposed to be. And so I had to frog back all the way to the beginning, and start all over again, which is fine. Which is totally fine. It only took me like a day or like a night or two of like work to get back to where I was, but I was just like so frustrated with myself because I was like, dude, you were literally done. You were all done with these short rows, and then now here you are. And then what was weird was like then I got back to the point where I was finishing my last short row, and I have like so much extra yarn. I was like, what happened to me running out of yarn last time, huh? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but it's cool now. I've just been having like quite the saga with short rows. It's been a time. Learning a lot of short rows and messing them up a lot. And figuring out eventually. But there are 16 pages of instructions because it gives you like options for bust darts and how to do those, and then waist shaping and how to do that. It gives you like how to measure your body to like figure out how to best do the bust shaping and the waist shaping for your body type so that it fits really nicely. And so that was really cool. I like wasn't really expecting that. I think I'm probably not gonna do bust shaping because like what bust is there to shape, you know what I mean? But I'm definitely going to try some waist shaping. So I think it's just going to be so beautiful. I think this color is going to just be so nice in this pattern. So I'm really hyped to see how this works up. All right, so for acquisitions, I obviously already talked about the drops, needles. Other than that, my other acquisition is not really like, it is knitting related, but it's not. Okay. It's a hot water bottle. Yeah, I finally got one. I did not know what a hot water bottle was until I joined the knitting community. And I literally thought people were just making covers for like their like Hydro Flask. And I was like, why? Like it's a Hydro Flask, so it's not hot on the outside. That's like the whole point. So like why are people making covers for it? And then I did a little more research and I found out that there are actually these really cool things that like you can use for your menstrual cramps. So yeah, I was having really bad cramps and I was like sent my partner out to go get me a hot water bottle, and I really have been enjoying the experience of using it. I mean, I love a heating pad for sure. I just don't love how you have to always be near an outlet to use them. And there's just always, you know, being attached to a wire is just never like awesome. And so, yeah, I was like, let's get a hot water bottle. Like I really never knew these existed until now. And I kind of wish I knew earlier. Like these are great. But anyways, now I can make a hot water bottle cover. Now I have one more option for when I do have enough of a stash, a scrap stash, that I can use them to make a hot water bottle cover. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that experience because I don't know, it's just such a big thing in the knitting community and I want to know why, and now I can finally be part of the club. Lastly, for our meditations and musings section, so as I mentioned, I went on a little vacation. It was like 4 days in Emerald Isle. It was so beautiful. We were on the beach, we were at the aquarium, we were freaking playing mini golf, and it was lovely. But yeah, after I came back, I was just kind of thinking about the concept of like vacation. What does that mean and signal to my brain? Because whenever I am on vacation, I feel like my digestion is working at its prime. Like I'm sleeping great. I feel obviously incredible, but like I can just tell that my nervous system is doing something different than when I am in my everyday life, which totally makes sense. But then I was also thinking about like, why don't I feel this way when I just have a regular day off at home? Like why do I have to go somewhere else to achieve this feeling and to achieve this like nervous system regulation? And so I was really trying to like parse out what is vacation to me and my brain. And I think it really came down to like being very present, really not being on my phone, having a big sense of curiosity about the world around me, and also being able to indulge in the things that I love without feeling guilty. And that is a very big thing for me. And so basically, I'm just trying to figure out like what are some ways that I can not only bring that feeling and that kind of like nervous system reset to my days off, but also just to like my everyday life. Like, can I carve out a chunk of my day every day to kind of get my brain to go into that vacation mode a little bit? So, yeah, I think it's totally possible. Like, being really present, just like maintaining the awareness and intention to be really present for a certain amount of time each night or each day, and especially on those days off, to just like take some time to like not be on your phone, notice the things around you. And that's the other thing of like maintaining curiosity. Like, I found that, I mean, North Carolina is really not that far. You know, it's like a 4-hour drive, but like the environment as a whole, yes, there was the beach there, which was great, but we were staying a little bit inland, more so in the countryside. And I was just like so amazed by like the trees, you know, the trees, the sounds at night. But then I thought about it more and I'm like, we have essentially the same trees here, the same sounds at night. It's essentially the same atmosphere, you know? It's just this kind of like little kind of southern greenery. But it's just that when I'm on vacation, I'm actually noticing it more, you know? Like the times where I am on my phone on vacation is when I am noticing beauty around me and wanting to capture that. And that's something that I can definitely take into my everyday life and take into the time, the days, or at least the little slivers of time that I have off in the day, like that little breathing time to like reset. I can absolutely look out the window or step outside and just like take a moment to appreciate the beauty that is surrounding me on a daily basis. And then as far as indulging in my hobbies and recreation in a way that does not make me feel guilty, this sounds really lame, but I actually think that this is how I know I am reaching my 30s, is scheduling out your like time for your hobbies and time for the things that you like quote unquote have to do. It sounds so unsexy, it sounds so lame, but I really do think it is helpful. And it's so funny because it's like one of those things that my mom and dad were always like, you should do that. And I was like, that's so lame, that's so boring, that sounds so awful, and it sounds like I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. But now that I'm like this age, I'm like, oh yeah, that actually is really smart, because I think my big struggle throughout a lot of my life is like feeling like my hobbies and my obligations are competing at all times. And if I'm partaking in my hobbies, I am taking away time from the things that I'm quote unquote supposed to be doing or I need to be doing. But when I really think about it, it's like, no, I do need to be doing my hobbies and things that, you know, genuinely bring me joy, because that stuff is helping me to, again, reset my nervous system. It is bringing me joy. It's keeping me going in a way that feeds my soul so that I can keep doing the things that I am obligated to do, so that I'm not burning out like crazy, so that I'm not miserable. And so I actually do need to be doing all of these things. It's just trying to figure out when to be doing them. And I think scheduling it out just makes it so that your brain can properly shift into I'm enjoying and I'm relaxing, because I know that I've scheduled out time to do all the other things that I have to do. I don't know if other people have this, but I feel like it's always an issue in the back of my mind where I'm like, I probably should be doing something else. I probably should be doing something quote unquote more productive. But for me, at least, having it scheduled out and knowing that like I've set aside that time already makes it so that I can just fully indulge and immerse myself in the thing that I'm doing without having all of that like anxiety worrying in the back of my brain, worried that I am, you know, taking away time from something else. When I try to talk about these things, it makes so much sense in my head, and then I say it out loud and I'm like, oh, it's all gibberish. I don't even know. But yeah, hopefully that made a little bit of sense to you. Hopefully you got something out of that. And yeah, I gotta run because I gotta get to class in like 2 minutes. But thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video if you did. Like, comment, and subscribe, and do all of those things if you so desire. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!